welcome to my house and welcome to my channel. I'm Laura Cepeda and today I'm going to show you a project that has two different uses. You can use this project as a neck or as a beanie too. I will show you, and while we make this, I want to review with you this basic stitch that it's the elastic stitch, and if you're learning how to knit, well, this is the perfect project to practice and to make something beautiful. Remember that before we start, it's very important that you subscribe to my channel and that you leave me a comment. It means a lot to me and it is for free, okay? Also, don't forget to give me a like and to share this video if you like. But well, before we start, I will give you the material list and then the step by step. So let's start. Well, for a standard size, in an adult we are going to need 100 grams. In this material, it's like between fine and light material in this color and 100 grams in fine material, fine yarn. We are going to use the needles of number 6. If you want, here I will share all the information where you can buy these materials. To buy all the materials that I use in all my videos, you can visit my online store www.lauracepeda.es and we will send it right to your house. Well, the main purpose of this video is that if you're learning how to knit, well, I want that you make something beautiful while you learn, okay? So that's why I decided to make this neck and beanie too. In this project, we are going to review how to make the elastic stitch. Well, first we have to cast on the stitches. In this case, for a standard size. For an adult, we are going to cast on 70 stitches. This is the way that I cast on the stitches. I know there are a lot of ways, but to me this is the easiest and simplest ways. So like this, we are going to cast on 70 stitches. Okay, so once you have the stitches that you need, in this case I need 70 stitches, we are ready to make and to continue with the next stitch. To make the elastic, we are going to use two simple stitches that I have taught you in previous videos, okay? We are going to knit and pour. So we will take the first stitch and we will knit, and the second stitch we are going to pour. This means that we are going to place the needle in front and we are going to insert the needle in the back like this. So this means that we are going to pour. You see where I insert the needle, and together making one pour and knitting one, we create the elastic stitch. So you see, we knit one and we pour the next one, and like this is how we are going to continue for the rest of the row. Okay, we'll continue making the rest of the stitches with you so you can see exactly how it is. And well, as you see, we are going to alternate between stitches. We are going to knit and pour one. You will see that in next projects I will teach you the double elastic stitch. It means that we are going to knit 2 and pour 2. But well, let's don't mix it. And I don't want to confuse you. For now we are going to make one, we are going to knit one and pour one, and like this for the rest of the row. See you at the end. Well, so here I'm finishing the row and I finish pour one, okay? In the next row we are going to repeat, okay? We are going to knit as it goes. If in the last row we knit, well, we are going to knit, and if we pour, we are going to pour. But see, this is a tip that I give you. We are going to pass without knitting the first stitch because we want that our edge be perfect and straight. So with this little trick, you will have that edge that you want. And now we are going to pour. You see how you have this thread in front of you? Well, this means that we have poured the last stitch. So like we are making the elastic stitch, we are going to respect this. And you see here the difference. We don't have the thread that we have before in front, so this means that we are going to knit. So now we are going to pour, knit, pour, and like this the whole row. Okay, where we knit we are going to knit, and where we pour we are going to pour. We'll see you at the end. And well, this is the end of the row. You see how it's looking, the elastic stitch? Well, at the end we are going to start all over again. We are going to take the first stitch, and then we will continue. Where we pour we are going to pour, and where we knit we are going to knit. Okay, and like this we are going to continue several rows, and then in the half of the rows that we knit according to the project and according to the size that we are making, we are going to change and we are going to make the double elastic. Remember that I told you that we are going to make two, we are going to pour together two, then together we are going to knit two, and this means that it's the double elastic, double elastic. And you can use this stitch in many other projects. Maybe if you need to make a jersey for a sweater, it's very common also in socks. And we are reviewing this stitch. We will see you. I will continue making more rows like this, and at the end I will tell you how many I made. Well, look, I get ahead. I approximately made 20 rows, and look, I changed color here. It looks good, right? I will teach you how you can change color, as you could see, and now the elastic stitch looks even better now that we make more rows. And you can use the color that you want. In this case I'm going to use this gray. If you don't want, you can leave the thread here and just go up with it like I made, if you don't want to cut every time that you want to change. So this is the secret, and this is what I made. I twist a little bit to make sure that my thread will be there. So I hide in the back the pink thread, and then I only took the gray, and then I continue with the stitch as it goes. And I'm going to make 2 rows with this color, and then 2 rows with the pink color, and I will stop there because I want to teach you how we are going to make the double stitch elastic, the, how can I say, double elastic stitch, right? So we are going to change. So I'm going to make these 4 rows more, 2 with the gray and 2 with the pink, and see you there to change a stitch. Look, I made 2 rows because I like to end where I have all the threads in the same edge. So like I'm here again, I'm going to cut because I won't use this color anymore, because as I told you, now we are going to change a stitch, but I wanted to make this a step for you in case you have any doubt how you finish when you don't want to use this color anymore. So we just cut and make a knot. Okay, it's very important that we make a knot, because like this we will make sure that our project will be perfect always, even if we wash it. So now let's continue. I'm going to make 2 rows with the pink, and then we will change a stitch finally. Well, now we are going to change a stitch, but now instead of counting the rows, because it will depend how you knit, I'm going to give you how many centimeters I have. From here to here I have 15 centimeters. So once you have this measure, we are going to change a stitch. Okay, remember that we are making this for an arrow, and this is the standard size. So well, to make this stitch is basically the same. We are going to pass the first stitch without knitting, and then we are going to pour 2. It doesn't matter if we have knit in the previous row. Okay, remember that we are changing a stitch, so we are going to pour 2, and then we are going to knit 2, then pour 2 and knit 2. Okay, we don't count this first stitch, we start making the series in the second stitch. Okay, because remember that the first stitch is for the edge and we don't need it, we just pass it through. So like this is how we are going to continue, knitting 2 and pour 2, and it will be the same. Okay, we are going to continue with this stitch for several rows. At the end I will tell you exactly how many I made. And well, like we are changing a stitch here, we will finish the stitch like we have finished in the previous rows, okay? As you see, if you have a chain here, it means that you have a pour always in the last stitch. But if you have like a knot, it means that you will need the stitch at the end of your edge, okay? So like in previous rows, making I finished making pour. We are going to pour, as you see. Now it looks like elastic, and now we are going to start with the second row where we change a stitch. So well, this is how we are going to continue, okay? I think I'm going to make the same number of rows and the same number of centimeters that I made in the previous part, but now with this stitch. And also I'm going to continue with this same color. If you want to change color too or make a different combination, well, I will be very happy if you make it, okay? Remember that this is just an idea and I love to see your own creations. So well, let's continue, and remember to finish the last stitch with the pour or according to the stitch that you have been finishing before. So let's continue. Well, I think I'm going to stop here. I think it's enough. I have 25 centimeters. And if you want to make just a beanie, where here you are going to cut the thread and you are with the embroidery needle with a hook, you are going to pass it through all the stitches and you are going to join them, okay? But like we want to make a braid that you can use as a neck too, well, we are going to bind off all the stitches. So we are going to knit two together and bring one back. This is how we bind off, okay? So we are going to knit two together like this. We have this stitch and now we are going to bring it back to the needle. And well, it's very important also in this part that we bind off the stitches but loose, okay? Please don't tie, because if not it will lose its magic and the elastic will lose its magic, okay? So it's very important that we bind off this loose so we can have something like this. So well, now that we finished to bind off all the stitches, we are going to cut a long thread because we are going to use this thread to sew. Okay, so we are going to cut a long thread, and now with the embroidery needle, well, first we are going to pass the stitch like this, okay? But now with the embroidery needle, we are going to take the thread and pass it through like this. And now we are going to sew. And now we are going to fold like this, and we are going to sew taking one stitch from one side and one stitch from the other side, and we are going to use the eye, not the tip, because if we do, we are going to damage, okay, this kind of, especially when we are using this kind of yarn. So we are going to take, if you take both parts of the stitch, you will take them always. If you only take one, you will take all the stitches only taking one stitch. But like I have taken the first stitch both parts, well, we continue taking both parts. And by making this stitch, by sewing like this, we won't create any pleats. Remember that this is the stitch and this is the way that I like to use, because it is invisible. But we'll see you at the end. Well, look, here I finished to sew. At the end I'm just going to make a knot. I'm going to take the rest of the threads, but remember that we are going to leave it a little bit long, because now with embroidery needle we are going to hide these loosened ends. And this is the way also that I have taught you in previous videos, because to me this is the easiest, okay, and also the fastest. So like this is how I hide all my loosened threads, and like this we finish. Now I'm going to teach you how you can make a cord, because remember that we want to use this neck also as a beanie too. So I'm going to show you how we can make it to make this two ways possible. So for now, just let me hide all these loosened ends like this, and also if you have any other thread in your project, well, like this is how you are going to hide it. Okay, well, like this you will have a neck, you have the neck ready, you have a turtleneck ready, but like as I told you, we are going to use it as a beanie too. So we are going to make a cord to place it here in the top so we can have a beanie too. So let me show you how. Well, for the cord, I'm going to continue with the combination. I'm going to use this yarn, and with a hook of number 4, or the hook according to the size of your yarn, we are going to make chains. We are going to make these chains loose, and I'm going to make many of these chains, okay? At the end I will tell you exactly how many I made so you can have it as a reference. Look, I finished to make the chains that I need, and I made 70 centimeters. So now look, to make a cord, we are going to slip one in each stitch. We are going to skip, and in the second chain we are going to slip one. So we take both parts of the chain, and with this same thread we bring them through. Insert your hook, take one, and with the same thread bring them through. And like this is how we are going to make the cord, okay? Or in all the stitches until we finish. Please make this part loose. If you can't, use another number of hook, but this part has to be loose. So well, now that you have your cord ready, we are just going to cut and make a knot. And now that we have this part ready, well, we are going to pass it through our project. At the end also you will need to hide these threads. I'm going to make one more knot. And now we are going to insert this cord all around this part where we made the double elastic stitch. You can use a hook so it can be easier. I think I'm going to place it here where you have the splits, and we are going to pass it through as a ribbon. You see? So well, we finished. As you see, I pass it through all all around. And if you want to have a beanie, well, you are just going to pull these threads, this cord, and you will have a beanie. And if you want to have a neck, well, you are going to take the cord, you are going to undo the knot, and you are going to use it as a neck. So you see, we have in one project we have two uses. So now let's see how it looks. I hope that you have liked it. Well, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope that you make it. Please, if you make it, take a picture and tag me. Don't forget to follow me in all my social media, Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. I will continue sharing more projects like this one, and see you very soon in the coming videos. Thank you, and don't forget to give me a like. I'm subscribed to. Bye!